And we are live. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some questions and some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. I've been reading comments from my last video I posted maybe a couple hours ago, and it's been about Tyson Fury, and of course, it is a counterpunch to one of the former LDBC members. So, you're going to get some people that support that platform and that group to come into defense. And it was some very interesting things that was brought up, or should I say comments, right? That was brought up. Brian Harkin, by some people he will. Counterpunch to you. Okay, first on the chat gets the overall question answered of the day. Damn, Mikey and Freddie. Okay. That's an interesting thumbnail you got there, sir. But some questions have arisen about Tyson Fury. Both of these guys, as far as we know, they've been training really hard. They've been doing their thing. They've been really putting it in, right? I know Wilder has. And I'm really proud of Deontay Wilder for now opening up the idea of wanting to learn new things. Okay, so you have to make that apparent. And I must say that Wilder looks like he's always looked. He don't look any bigger. He don't look any leaner. He don't look any skinnier. He looks about the same to me. He's a naturally thin, lean, powerful guy. He has a good right hand. He has an athletic basketball build, right? So, yeah. Yes, I made it when Mikey Garcia said that the fight with Pacquiao was made. Oh, okay. Got you. Jamie Lowe, of course he would, by the crazy Wilder fans. Okay. But then why? Okay, we go into the accusations. Okay, and I have another video to create actually concerning some of this stuff. But, since you guys are here, let's talk about it. We have Tyson Fury in previous fights with other fighters, like Steve Cunningham. And referees saying that he's a dirty fighter. Hey, you could say the same thing about Evander Holyfield and Bernard, the Executioner, the Alien Hopkins. Wizard's Sleeve, the Bomb Squad, panicking already. Wizard Sleeve, counterpunch to you. Boom. Yeah, and I countered that video, and it seems like, what is it, the 21st. So that's in about 2.5 weeks, right? So that fight's about 2.5 weeks. In 2.5 weeks, we have Wilder versus Fury. Now, I might add, I'm excited for the fight because what's coming with the fight, the undercard. I'm looking definitely for a Jagba versus Frank Sanchez. That's going to be a hot fight. So I have vested interest in that fight, and I'm really anticipating on watching it. So that would be a big one that I would love to cover. Wilder is looking like he is trying to improve under Malik Scott. He does. The question is, has he? The problem is we don't know, and there's no trial run with Scott and Wilder to see where he is. You know what I mean? But I think Wilder is at a point where he's training like no tomorrow. I think it is some type of concern that Tyson Fury is able to hurt him. Because let's just be real, man. Fuck all the images and all that we see. D-Town Blast to counterpunch to you. Regardless of what you see, what's the whole general idea? Can Tyson Fury put something in his gloves to alter his gloves? So it comes down to the fact that now, how do we prove that, since it's supposed to have been proof and we'll provide mountains of evidence and we'll do this and we'll do that, but then and yet you went towards a arbitration, which To be fair, we don't know everything that happened in the arbitration. We don't know that. So, maybe that's involved. I mean, I was told that the cheating was involved in that. Now, Tyson Fury in his latest interview didn't mention any of that. So, I don't know what to believe at this point. All I know is what I was told or what was said by Team Wilder, we haven't received as of yet. Okay. So, take that for what you need to take that for. All right. LDBCs are already laying the groundwork in case Wilder loses again. But you know what is sad, though? Instead of just being an overall fan of a fighter and, hey, the fighter won and still being a fan for him, they want to make excuses for him already. And you know what that tells me, though? This tells me something very important, people. Okay, let's hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, let's hit that like button. But what that tells me, honestly, for the guys and for the people that think Tyson Fury cheated and the only way he won is because he cheated, what they're saying is if Deontay Wilder loses fair and square, I don't think they would really be a fan of him. That's why I believe that they need an excuse. Because if they didn't have an excuse, there would be no reason to fault Tyson Fury. You could only fault Deontay Wilder for losing. So if he was fair, if he got beat fair and square, it's like maybe these people, these same fucking people, that's supposed to be Wilder worshipers or whatever they supposed to be, maybe these people won't even support him. Like, he can't just get beat and you still support him. You know what I mean? You got to ride with every excuse. Now, let's say he didn't make any excuses. Let's say none of this shit was brought up anyway. But then again, we don't really know where it came from. We don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. Let's be real. We don't know. We don't know if it came from Wilder. We might think it was orchestrated by Wilder or whatever, but who knows? He might have just heard it and thought it was a good idea to run with it to sell the third fight. We don't know that either. So this is what we have. Of course, he's water training. His head coach is a diver. Yeah, that's kind of hard to overlook. You got a guy that took a dive. Now, this would be different if, like, Juan Manuel Marquez wanted to train Manny Pacquiao or something like that. That would be a difference. That's like some true, Rocky and Apollo like shit. But him taking a dive like that, and he's his trainer, I think Malik Scott is earning his paycheck, like he said. They care more about the fighter than the sport. I don't even see. Here's the thing. Who says that the fans of Wilder care more for Wilder than the sport of boxing? Maybe they're not boxing fans at all. Maybe there are people that they use boxing as a front. And in the overall thing, it's not even about sports. It's about dominance and it's about supremacy. So you have to look at things the way that they are. You have to look at what people represent, the way they think, the way they feel because of the way they think. Okay. So who's to say this is about boxing? No, it doesn't have anything to do about boxing. Maybe they're not Wilder fans at all. Maybe they don't give a shit about Deontay Wilder. What they give a shit about is Deontay Wilder's skin. Okay, you think they really care about Deontay Wilder himself and this, that, and the other, and is he a good boxer? No, they don't care about that. They want and they have to make this narrative to support how they feel. See, if you were a racist or a prejudiced person and you seen something that you didn't like based on the way your views are and the way you were raised or whatever, or way you choose to think, and you seen something you didn't like in anything, it could be a tennis match, and you seen the person that looks like you gets beat by the person that don't. Well, what ends up happening, you're not really going to care too much about the tennis match. Tennis match is just the front. You just didn't like what you saw. I think the image affected people affected, prejudiced people. I think the image of that guy, Tyson Fury, beating the shit out of Wilder, the way he beat the shit out, it was really pathetic, people. That shit was bad. You know what I mean? You know, that could have been 3 or 4 knockdowns, but I mean, oh, of course, the drunk ref, you know, he should have called those, but he didn't. But, you know, he's against Wilder too, go figure, right? You know, but he went down a lot of times. Wilder probably was knocked down about 4 times, at least 3. Okay, and it just wasn't called. They were labeled as slips. Okay, so don't worry. A lot of these fans, and it's sad though, because see, if Wilder wins, it doesn't have to be about boxing. It doesn't have to be that he's the best fighter. It doesn't have to be that you support the best fighter. The only thing people, or a lot of these people, are concerned with is skin color. Okay, and they're going for that person because of that. They're not going for that person because they love boxing. Okay, let me break it down. Let me prove it to you. When Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder, there were people that came on with their own platforms that had nothing to do with boxing at all. Young Pharaoh is not a sports fan, to say the least, but he has over maybe a couple 100,000 subscribers. But all of these couple 100,000 subscribers are the same people that wouldn't like the idea or the image of Tyson Fury beating Deontay Wilder. Okay, let's just call it how it is. So then you had a lot of people putting their 2 cents in when they knew shit about boxing anyway. They seen a couple images, they seen some videos from like Aki and those cats, and then they didn't really get big until those people that had shit to do with boxing, nothing to do with boxing, came on those platforms, because then that's by association. And you know how those algorithms work. Okay, so if you have like Tyson Fury cheated. Okay, well then they will all be lined up together. You know, and they were all collaborating with each other. So then you had a lot of people that did not. No, they won't make Jack Reese the ref. So live. That won't happen, right? But the thing is, they had nothing to do with boxing. It was just a group of people that just was poured into this particular fight and had nothing to do with boxing. Boxing was just the front. Boxing was just the engine that they needed to push that bullshit that they about anyway. So it's easier for a person that's prejudiced to believe the other person cheated, because they already think that way anyway. They're self-compromised. They have to look for a certain reason why this happened. And it couldn't be because the guy was better, because if you think of yourself supreme or your race supreme over someone else, that's what you're going to get. And this is what we're dealing with. Lady Shannon was diming you out on the Boxing Voice this morning. Okay. All right. I guess that's good. I'll check it out or whatever. No, don't talk about my Kang Deontay counterpunch. No, I'm not talking about. See, it has nothing to do with Wilder. A lot of these people have nothing to do with boxing. They came over and look, it's just almost like to this day. To this day, had nothing to do with boxing. It's just Deontay Wilder's a boxer, and to this day went past the categories and out of the realm of boxing. It went to other particular categories. So a lot of people had vested interest in what Deontay will do in his fight based on what he said, because what he said is it caught the ears of people. So when you talk and people hear what you have to say, now they want to see if you can produce what and back up what you said. And it doesn't have to have anything to do with what he said per se. But guess what? At the end of the day, people are going to be chiming in. All right. It's all BS. I don't even care anymore. I just want the fight. Now all the BS is trying. Well, you have to understand something, people. They have to make videos now because no one knows the future. And then you have to create a cushion, especially if you plan on supporting that person. Now, the bombshell would be if they caught Tyson Fury cheating. Now, here's the funny thing about that. If they caught Tyson Fury cheating, Tyson Fury has to be one of the dumbest, boldest, idiotic-ist people on the planet. You know what I mean? And then at that point, then you throw everything at him. You Jarrell Miller Tyson Fury, and then some. Fuck Jarrell Miller. You Jose Resto, Louis Resto, that guy. But here's the thing. If you don't come up with shit, this is what we're going to have. This is all we're going to have. But it's bad. It's bad because if he wins, this is already going to be the cushion. So it's like something you'll never get rid of. Hi, Kurt. Joshua and Alexandria media workout is very soon. In the UK this fight we don't care about. And in the UK, this fight we don't care about. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Know exactly what you mean. Wilder can't box a lick unless it's a total bum. No losses. It's that simple. Wizard Sleeve. It is that simple. And the sad thing about it, you have to give a guy that started boxing at age 19 that don't know shit about boxing. He's tried football, basketball, and then he tried boxing. He did it for a good cause and all. But was he the best at it? No, he was the lowest of the fucking totem pole in the Olympics. Let's be real. He was knocked out. He received the bronze medal. That made him the bronze bomber, and he turned pro. He still didn't know shit. So they brought Mark Breland in. JD's didn't know shit to teach him. So they brought Mark Breland in. And he was with him a very long time. And they brought him in front of every guy that fucking drove a cement truck, a pickup truck, a garbage man, a fucking plumber, a waiter. Look, they brought everybody in front of him that they needed. Okay? That's exactly what happened. And then when he started fighting other guys, he found a way with his right hand. The one thing they knew he had was a right hand. And thanks to Mark Breland for executing or helping him develop the right hand. Anthony Joshua started at 18 to where's AJ's excuses? Well, here's the thing, Shaun Duffy. AJ was actually trying to learn shit. He learned from an ass whooping. We don't know if Deontay has learned from his. He didn't have 1,000 excuses either. You know what I mean? That's the difference. He wasn't knocked out in the Olympics. He was knocked out in duels match, Russia versus. Well, okay. They stopped that motherfucker, didn't they? Now, Nico, did you know Anthony Joshua was knocked out? Was he knocked out too, Nico? Talk to me. Red or dead. Fury and Wilder have lost all credibility. Wilder with his accusations and Fury with his lies. Like Crimson and Clover, huh? Was he caught cheating during the fight, the Fury fight? Show me the evidence. Well, that's the number $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. AJ didn't have 1,000 excuses. He had just one, a punch from the gods. Scants Rants, there you go. Like I said, he didn't have 1,000. He did say I was a punch from the gods. I'm like, dude, bullshit. You got fucking clocked. You got wrapped, and everybody saw that shit. Everybody saw it. There ain't no need to say a punch from the god. Yeah, that's kind of, no. You were too close to a shorter guy. And he had perfect leverage on you, and you were leaning in trying to knock him out, and he caught you with a perfect shot. Timed perfectly. Bow! What about Christian Hammer and Klitschko, and what about his sparring partners? The WBC, him and Dad are all crooks. Let's see. Christian Hammer and Klitschko. The Christian Hammer fight I'm doing a video on later on this afternoon. Okay, to counterpunch that in its entirety. Okay. The Klitschko fight, that's back and forth, Shaun. Okay. You have to remember something. Klitschko and Fury, if you were referring to Fury cheating Klitschko, you would be referring to the nandrolone. The nandrolone is one of the things that was high in his system. He had a high amount of nandrolone. But as far as Klitschko, though, that's a double-edged sword, because we remember Klitschko had memory foam, some type of foam that wouldn't allow him to move around as much. I think something with the gloves. It was real nitpicky shit, though. It wasn't anything like incriminating, like criminal, like the accusations from Wilder, to be fair. And the WBC president himself, I don't trust his ass no farther I can throw him, because he's like fucking 260 himself. He's been eating, good shit down there, because he's, I don't trust him. He's a liar. And his dad are crooks. I don't know if you're referring to Tyson Fury's dad, but no, they're no saints, right? But there you go. AJ got a few clumps from the gods. He got more than a few. He got more than a few. The thing is, Lennox said, you have seen someone that size take it to Wilder reach, and height matter in size. Which means Frank Warren is fucked. The Nicholas Asbury and his coach Barry Smith work with Malik Scott. Very interesting. I mean, they're all look. That means absolutely nothing. That means that like birds from a feather flock together. Nicholas Asbury, and thinking about this cat, a professional fucking sparring partner. That's all he is. He's a professional sparring partner. He's that guy that don't really have good management, obviously. He can't get good fucking fights. And because of that, he makes his money sparring. Cool. Nothing wrong with that. But then yet, he is a guy that he jumped into this because even when he made that, remember when he came out with that, which was like late 19, nobody gave a shit about that. Why? Because nobody gives a shit about old, worn out fucking gloves. I got a pair in my car that are shredded right now. I gave my pair to my cousin that were more shredded. A lot of people just it's like wearing old shoes. Okay? Now, he could sit there's no padding in the gloves. You guys know who the fuck I am? No, we really don't. I guess we do now because you have jumped in there to make yourself known. But really, what have you done? This motherfucker is acting like he's Joey DeWaco with somebody. At least Joey DeWaco's fighting. So him saying, oh, well, there's no padding in the gloves. I mean, a lot of fucking people use older gloves to spar. And if he didn't like it, what the fuck is he cheesing with Team Fury? You know what I mean? Like a lot of things don't add up. Ollie Lewis, counterpunch to you. Good evening to you. Who calls their self a warrior but couldn't call his armor into battle? Let's remember that Fury said about Ruiz and Charles Martin, he had them both to beat AJ. Well, he Red or Dead, he also had Joseph Parker also. And then if you look at Tyson Fury, I mean, if you want to talk about that with him and AJ, it's clearly some type of jealousy, Like Carl Froch, we know Carl Froch is jealous of AJ because AJ's broken his fucking record in Wembley. Remember when he broke that record in 13 when he went to Wembley? And then I think in 15, AJ broke it fighting Klitschko. Froch has had it out for him ever since. Ever since. Because, they were both with Rob McCracken at once upon a time. Rob McCracken was his amateur coach or whatnot. Right? Andy Ruiz's amateur record is unreal. Guy can fight. Shaun Duffy, he can fight and throw combinations. But see, here's the thing. Andy Ruiz needs you to be right in front of him to connect with those combinations. If you don't, that's your ass. It's okay. To Les. Prosper with this one down. Get Kelly, make sure. Well, hey, look at it like this. He's seen those gloves. That's sparring. That's practice, right? Everybody talk about, look, sparring, you can get killed. In 2019, you can get killed. Majestic TV counterpunch to you. Carl the Cobra Froch is the last real one from the UK. Okay. Yeah, he was one of the one that hate AJ too. Like Carl Froch, he's a conspiracy theorist. But Scants Rants, back to you. Okay. You allow a guy you fought twice to cheat you twice. That's bad. That's terrible. It just is. Andy Ruiz got knocked down by an over-the-hill Chris Arioli. He had a wonderful performance against AJ, but does anyone actually see him becoming champ in the next 5 years? New level gaming. It depends on what type of champ. Because I don't see, if Usyk beats AJ and he beats him twice, Usyk's on the top. But look, here's the problem. Usyk will be another guy that hasn't fought the other two guys because they're too busy fucking with each other. Okay, so we have to, in that point, rematches are a waste of time for me. I don't agree with mandatories, rematch clauses. If it's a mandatory, there should not be a rematch. If Usyk beats AJ, he should move the fuck on. You know what I mean? But that's what you have when you're dealing with these marquee fighters, these A-side fighters. Stop drinking that Mark Breland prepared. That was funny, though. Yeah, I pissed in it. Do you believe there is anyone can beat Fury? Well, yeah. Look, Top Cat 2000. Fury has to fight the rest of the fucking fighters. Fight someone in the top 10. And you can argue, Otto Wallin was in the top 10. Oh, okay. Well, shit. He gave him a pretty good fight, didn't he? He gave him a pretty good fight. And Otto Wallin, there's more people than Otto Wallin. You got Dillian White. You got Luis Ortiz. You got what? You have AJ. He won't fight Usyk for some strange reason. And the only person you fought was Wilder? Come on, man. Klitschko's old news. Klitschko's retired. You know what I mean? So, yes, Top Cat 2000. Yet, I believe somebody will eventually get him too. If he fights the right person, if he keeps fighting top people, one of those top people will find a way to get him. Styles make fights. People are determined. People are driven. When it comes to someone that hasn't been beat, they're going to try it and give it their all. That's what I think will happen. Dion W. Appreciate it, brother. Kind of punch to you. Thank you for the super chat. What time does the AJ Usyk fight start Saturday? Jab. The like people. Dion, I'm going on at 1:15 Central Time. It's supposed to start at 6 o'clock p.m. in the UK. Okay, so they're six hours ahead of me, or is it? Yeah. So, wait, let me double check because I have. All right, so it's 12. So it's 1 o'clock here. So it should start at, I'm going to start at 1:15. That'll be 7:15 over there. because besides the Akoli fight, that fucking card is garbage. Let's be real. The AJ-Usyk card, besides the event, besides the Akoli fight, it's garbage. Now they do have, I think, is it Liam Smith? Is it Beefy Smith? That may be a good one. But those other two, no, I think it's 6 fights. So we have 3 fights probably worth watching and 3 fights that ain't worth a shit. Counterpunch. So I'm starting at 115. Yeah. In Miami, if you're in Miami and Eastern, yeah, you want to start at, yeah, well, you say start time is at 6. Well, I don't know about 6 in Miami. You might want to start watching at 1 or 2. It depends on what you want to watch. New Level Gaming. Because, see, I'm in Central. Miami's in Eastern. So they're 5 hours ahead in the UK of them. Or you guys, should I say. In Miami on the East Coast. By the Wilder fanatics, 100%. Whoever wins the third fight, how many fights do you think they got left in them? Both of them before one retires. Well, you know what, though? People talk about Wilder retiring or all want him to retire and this, that, and the other. We ain't really looking at this shit while we should. What if Deontay knocks out Tyson Fury? You think Tyson Fury would retire? Hell, he might retire. That's a possibility. You know why it's a possibility, people? Because Tyson Fury has never had a defeat. And we don't know with his mental illness and all that shit, we don't know how that will affect him. We don't know. Matter of fact, I don't even think he knows. We won't know until that happens, until he gets beat by somebody, if it's Wilder or someone else. You good, my brother. Let the fight happen before the excuses they make. Lee Campbell, it's too late. It's too late. They're already making excuses. They're already making excuses. Oh, he's going to find a way to cheat. Watch. Like, dude, let the corner do the fucking job. Let them check the gloves. Let them check anything that they need. Watch your fucking water. You fired the referee. Not the referee. You fired your trainer. You got a new referee. It ain't going to be Kenny Bayless. So you've had Kenny Bayless, Jack Reese, premier acknowledged fucking referees. You doubt them. You doubt your own training. You doubt the water. You doubt the fighter. You doubt your fucking costume. You doubt every fucking thing besides that guy was better than you that night. That's it. So all this doubting will go away. But for them to say, oh man, he's going to cheat again. I know he's going to cheat again. Like, don't fucking fight him then. Don't fight him. Because, see, it tells me if you get beat the fuck up like you did last time, you're going to, oh, yeah, they're going to start looking. They're going to scramble. They're going to scramble. Look at Scants Rants. Check this out. Listen, if Fury wins, it's because Wilder was damaged goods due to the Fury loaded gloves from the first 2 fights. There you go. This is the shit I'm talking about. Scants Rants. Stop that. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. He was damaged goods. Motherfucker, if he was damaged, he shouldn't even be in there. That makes no sense. If he was damaged, that means he has evidence. If he had evidence, that means he can't fight because he's fucking damaged. So what you're doing, you're making excuses, just like the rest of those motherfuckers are making excuses. Oh, well, see, he was damaged from. I already knew it. I didn't want to say it, but I already knew what was going to be said. Tyson Fury goes in there and beats Tyson Fury can't beat the dude. This is what I'm hearing. Tyson Fury can't win unless he cheated. He cheats. He cheats. That's what's going to happen. You know what you're doing? You giving motherfuckers that free pass, Scants Rants. You giving people that free pass. That's what you're doing. Oh, well, you know he was damaged. You know they do, and they go over a list of things that could be wrong with you. Fucking dents in your head, dents in your skull, concussions. You know, they test all of this shit. You know that, right? You fucking with me. Stop. You fucking with me. Stop. Don't do that. Because people are going to take that shit. Yeah, you know he was damaged goods. You know he got a dent in his head. Well, at his autopsy, that means his ass was dead. They should have seen the dent in his head. Bars. Look, Wilder cheats. He hits with his forearms. Okay. I haven't seen that, though, but whatever. Right? You say America's going mad. Oh, okay. Let's see. America's going mad. Maybe Wilder should go into the women division like guy beating up girls in the UFC. Man. Look, I remember that, man. Like you talking about like a transgender person or whatever went into UFC beating the shit out of women. Now that's wrong. That's wrong. That's a whole man beating the shit out of a chick. That's wrong. You know, you're like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm a sheep. No, motherfucker, you're a wolf. You're pretending to be a sheep, but you're a wolf. Yeah, that's crazy. Shaun, that is crazy. Appreciate the super chat. Alex Beasley, Fury losing won't prove him having cheated. But him winning also won't be proof he never did. It's heavyweight boxing, not rock, paper, scissors like that. You know, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. See, here's the thing. The floppy glove. I don't understand the logic or the overlook. No one saw that. No one saw that that was a fucking problem before. And my thing is, if it's not legal, you could say it's cheating. Why not? But then, like I asked Tay Jones, like, hey, Tay, what would he have advantage by using a floppy glove to that magnitude? And he even told me, man, I don't know. Because Deontay said that I didn't feel his fucking punches. I walked through him. Yeah, he was jabbing, but that didn't hurt me. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I'm durable. I kept coming until I knocked his ass out and the count was late. Therefore, they cheated me in the first fight. That's what we heard about the first fight. Long count. 10 seconds. It was more than 10 seconds. It's a 10 count, people. That's the difference. And for my opinion, AJ never lost to Andy Ruiz. Ali Lewis, that's bullshit. No. See, Ali, that's that bullshit. You're an AJ fan. I know you're an AJ fan. Listen, this is a fan of boxing over here. Don't give me that shit, Ali. Listen, Anthony Joshua got knocked down 4 fucking times. It doesn't matter who stopped it. The referee stopped it. He had the power to stop it. Why? Because he was knocked down 4 fucking times and he never recovered. So what do you mean? For my opinion, AJ never lost to Andy Ruiz. Yes, he lost the first fight in Madison Square Garden in June. No, I can't make this shit up. But see, here's the good thing, though. We don't have a lot of AJ fans like that. Why? Because AJ didn't want fans like that. He don't want them type of fans. Well, he never lost. Yes, he did. He took that ass whooping. Okay, Ali, humor me. How do you feel AJ didn't lose against Ruiz? Please tell me that. You're in the trenches. Tell me what you got. Explain that to me. Explain why anybody needs cheating to beat somebody. To beat somebody so bloody awful. Well, here's the thing. Don't even generalize it. It ain't everybody doing that shit. Somebody cheated? No, nobody. Stop. This is the only motherfucker that we're really hearing about right now. And he's still saying the same shit. And the saddest thing about Wilder, he couldn't say what the fuck was on his mind when that man was in front of him. Wilder doesn't need to worry about Fury's floppy gubs. He just needs to make sure his own are stiff. Yeah. He needs to make sure that he can punch on the night. In 2019, AJ go for Wilder and Wilder effed up. Okay, that's not telling me nothing about him losing. Come on, Ali. I asked you a simple question. How do you figure Anthony Joshua was not beaten by Andy Ruiz? See, this is what this is what I won't do. See, Anthony Joshua, if he made the excuses that Deontay Wilder made, his stock would have dropped. It would have dropped significantly because people would have lost respect for him. You don't build shit on character, right? And a man of your word and honor. You don't build that type and then turn around and do something opposite of what you're building on. Okay, you don't do that. That's not what you do. Red or Dead, Iron Mike is a bum compared to AJ, though. Good God. What the hell is wrong with you? And go for Big Baby and Big Baby effed up. I mean, that has nothing to do with him getting beat. Yes, Big Baby, look, Ali, you sound bitter. Stop. You sound bitter. You sound like a fanboy. I know you're a fan. Look, you can be a fan of anybody, but don't be a fanboy. Don't get to the point where you're so infatuated with the idea of someone being beat that you're a fan of and you can't make a distinction on what happened. Don't be detached from a reality just because you're a fan of somebody. Don't be like the Wilder fans. St. Don, you're right. He sounds like a Wilder fan. It sounds like some shit Wilder fans would say. Overturn the decision. And we watched it, and it was like we saw round by fucking round Wilder get beat by Fury. So, look, Wilder got beat. AJ got beat. They got beat bad. It ain't like they lost by split decision, majority decision. Man, they put up a good fight. No, they got the ass beat. Stop. Matchroom Icons Kurt turning into a real AJ hater recently. How in the fuck am I turning into a real AJ hater when I just congratulated him on signing the last leg of his contract with Matchroom? Stop. Look, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. Now we're talking about Tyson Fury. Now AJ, or should I say, the AJ fanboys are coming here. I'm an AJ fan, but I'm not gonna kiss his ass just because, especially something that don't make sense. Oh, AJ really didn't lose to Andy Ruiz the first fight. Come on, man. Yes, he did. Come on, man. Oh man, that's come on, Matchroom Icons. Come on, man. You really. Okay, all right. I'm a Luis Ortiz fan just because I've got in Luis Ortiz's ass for not taking these fights. That means I'm a hater of Luis Ortiz too, and everybody knows I'm a Luis Ortiz fan. Todo cuamo. Come on now, stop. That's whatever. They crazy. They crazy. It's like, yo, listen, if anybody has a home team advantage, they don't need that type of, I'm not going to say support, but you don't need to carry anybody that already has the advantage. AJ has the advantage. Alexander Usyk is a foreigner in a foreign land. Yes, he fought Bellew, but who the hell is Bellew compared to AJ? Come on, man, that's a big difference. Scants Rants, AJ fans just checking your temperature, Kurt. Well, yeah, I mean, that pisses me off because it's like, yo, what? I don't have nothing against AJ, but at the end of the day, I don't have nothing against Wilder. It's just, I don't stand for bullshit. I don't like hearing bullshit, just like I heard Ali say. AJ he really didn't get beat by Andy Ruiz. Man, Andy Ruiz will be known for the rest of his career if it's piss poor or it gets better. It don't matter. He will always be known for that night in June of 2019. Lee Campbell, appreciate the super chat. £5. Kurt, you're a hater to deluded fans. Watch boxing in general, not a whole. Okay. I think so. I think if they don't hear me, yay, AJ, all that bullshit, a Wilder bomb squad. There's only one Tyson Fury, all that. If you're not that type of person, you're a hater. Okay, I get it. You can't love the boxing because look, everybody's not going to win all the time. But winning don't make you a loser. That means you lost, don't make you a loser. If you got your ass beat and you quit, that's what makes you a loser because you're a fucking quitter. That's the difference. You're not going to win every time. You're fighting with your fists. And hopefully sometimes you're using your brain to fight with your fists. But look, at the end of the day, hold on. Here's another. Hold on. Let me see what this says. Let me see what he says. In 2019 or this man, Wilder, Big Baby, Luis Ortiz, and Ruiz, AJ never trained for Andy Ruiz. Okay, whose fucking fault is that, though? Whose fault that AJ didn't train for Ruiz? Was it fair? No, it wasn't fair, but he wanted a fight, right? So he got a fight. AJ could have went the fuck back home. He could have canceled the whole card. He could have canceled he could have canceled the card and then went back to the UK and fought somebody else. He could have done that. But his whole idea and his whole objective was to fight in the USA. And he did that. It didn't have anything to do with his preparation. Okay. Yeah. I mean, was he the best prepared? No. But whose fault is that? It's nobody's fault. But that doesn't mean he didn't get his ass whooped. We are talking about semantics. Dude, stop the semantics. The reality is he got beat by a guy that was ready to fight him versus I don't think Anthony Joshua was too focused on Andy Ruiz. But that doesn't mean he didn't get beat. AJ has more top 10 wins than Ali. Factual accurately. Okay. So what does that mean? Yeah, St. Don. Ruiz never trained for the second fight. He had already did look, let me tell you something about like Andy, and this is what I'm seeing thus far about Andy. Thus far, people. Andy Ruiz shot his wad in 2019. I don't give a shit how much weight he loses. I don't care what he does with Canelo and the Reynosos. I don't give a shit about that. You know what I see about Andy Ruiz right now? Just the unfiltered truth. He shot his wad in 2019, and I haven't seen any desire for him to do that. We've heard him talk. I haven't seen him, except to fight AJ again, because he knows his money behind it. But at the end of the day, I have not seen him make the type of or take the type of steps that he needs to be what he once was. That's real. I don't see him doing anything based on what he's done. Okay. I don't see him doing anything in the sport. I want to be wrong. But as of right now, people, I haven't seen Andy Ruiz do shit. Okay, I haven't seen him doing. He's ducked 2 fighters. Actually, he's ducked 2 fighters. He's supposed to fought Luis Ortiz this year. This motherfucker went and did a cosmetic surgery like Canelo. Like, why would you do that? Huh? Why would you do that now? On something that you've been had for the last 3 years. So if you had that same surgery or injury rather 3 years ago, that means you had that shit when you was fighting and beating the shit out of AJ, didn't you? Come on, man. And you know what is sad? Red or dead. Ruiz looked better fat. Counterpunch. He looked better fat. You're right. Kurt, can you do a Mayweather impression real quick? Sugar Ray. Well, look, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do one in a second. I mean, I don't really. Now it is weird though. I mean, I've came across AJ fanboys, not a lot of them though, but you know, you do have those type. Dino Ortiz is a PBC and a bomb squad myth. Look, it's sad, man, because see, Luis Ortiz is getting to the point where I've been looking at his ass side-eyed because I'm like, he got his Wilder fight. Now, Heyman did give him what I guess they offered him or his team versus AJ. But you imagine if AJ would have fought Ortiz and lost to Ortiz in 2019? God, you think Deontay Wilder wouldn't have said, man, you think he said something worse already? Man, he would have told Anthony Joshua, my leftovers whooped your ass. I knocked out Ortiz and Ortiz whooped your ass. I told y'all he didn't have a heart of a champion. I told y'all to this day I'm better than AJ. Bars. Oh, man. I feel cheated. Wilder was getting more PBC love than most in the division. Gray Lodge. WBC is a cancer. Damn. They need to just start doing the right things over there. Are you impressed by Wilder's new training footage? And do you think him and Malik have a good game plan how to beat Fury? I think Malik Scott is doing very well with Deontay Wilder and Tosh Vach, right? Let me tell you something. If Wilder's able to execute the game plan set by Malik Scott, more and more people will be looking to sign or to train up under Malik Scott. Malik Scott would then be the new Ben Davison. Think about it. Malik Scott will be the new Ben Davison. Rob Riv shows live 01. Counterpunch to you. So, why is the Wilder impersonation so sinister? Because that's him. You ever seen Deontay mad and determined when he was talking about shit? That's how he sounds. That's how it sounds to me. Kurt, please God, I want Eddie to call me again. I'm depressed right now. Please God, send Eddie my way. You guys are stupid, man. But anyway, you guys are crazy. Anyway, I'm about to actually close this down, this live stream, and I'm going to start looking at the live. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys live in about 10 minutes. So until then, you guys been counterpunched. I appreciate this live stream. Await for the media workout with Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Stay tuned. Peace.